Toward the start of the story we are shown a young lady named Holly who embeds a bizarre electrical gadget inside her head because of which she was in a ton of agony, and he is additionally exceptionally miserable, yet she oversees herself and contacts her office where the party is occurring. During this he began going after an individual present there with a blade. Seems as though the man was killed. Not too far off after this, Sacred takes out the firearm from her pack and attempts to end it all by shooting herself, yet she can't do so really. At that time the cop arrives at there, so she begins discharging slugs at them. With this they sue him and kill him. Then we are shown another lady named Vos who was a killer and with the assistance of a machine has and kills individuals' bodies. Here obviously he kept Blessed's body with him and killed the man in his office next. Supervisor's controller and Brace, a resigned professional killer, uncover manager's past and gets some information about her story connected with those things. This can affirm regardless of whether the manager's psyche is totally fine. One of those supervisor things is a dead butterfly. He had killed her in youth, so she is as yet at legitimate fault for it. After everything the support tells the supervisor that our agreement ought to likewise be finished now. It's occurred prior to. During this we discover that the supervisor has isolated from her better half Michael in view of his work, so there is no mischief to his family as a result of him. Yet in spite of this she used to converse with Michael, so the Brace clarifies for her that it isn't okay for you to converse with her. After this the manager disregards her words and gets back to her significant other Michael and him. She arrives at home to meet her child, then looking after and over again when she was getting personal with Michael. That is the way she absolutely has. She had killed the man in the workplace, which makes her actual bombshell, and she gets back to Brace to work. After this manager arrives at the workplace and the support lets him know that I can never again deal with this machine because of advanced age, so I really want somebody who can have my spot, and I figure you can finish this work very well since you are extraordinary, yet you failed to keep a grip on your family in light of your interruptions, so you must be in charge of that. The support then, at that point, shows supervisor the photograph wherein he saw the man in the workplace was severely killed despite the fact that he previously had a firearm. So the region of this matter arrives at through the Brace chief, yet has no response to it. In the following scene support enlightens Vos concerning his new objective Colin, and he was in the cocaine business for a long time. However at that point he experiences passionate feelings for one of his rich clients, Eva, who was the little girl of John, the president of Panda organization, and on the grounds that apartment suite was the biggest organization in the mining business, Johnny support was gotten that she kills John as well as her life partner Colin. This permits organizations to get Xander with no problem, so Brace tells Colin to catch and kill Ava and John. After that she, at the end of the day, will return subsequent to ending it all, and this will satisfy their agreement. Colin then figures out how to talk and collaborate with individuals. With this nobody ought to uncertainty him when he is close to him. After this, when she is completely prearranged, the Brace group hijacks Colin and puts an electric gadget inside her, which he ought to be ready to continue. During this drain makes sense of everything very well, after which there is no aggravation. After this supervisor passes Colin with the assistance of the machine, yet he is stunned when Ava converses with him since Vas and Colin's body was getting drawn to him, so Ava gets some information about this. Alongside this she begins kissing him to divert his consideration, yet Ava is very shocked by his unusual way of behaving and goes from that point. After this she arrives at Colin's office to work, yet she begins letting completely go during the work. This gives Colin a brief look at manager recollections, yet in the blink of an eye manager recovers unlimited authority of Colin's body, yet she is feeling the loss of her family a ton. So she arrives at outside her home to see them, yet she was unable to go inside the house. During this supervisor arrives at Ava's home extremely late due to going there. This made Ava extremely steamed. Then she alongside a companion acquaints you with Colin. Ajiva's acts contrastingly so. Ava asks the justification for his peculiar way of behaving on the grounds that she thought Colin upset, yet Colin implies that Vos won't do so. Then the following manager revives Colin's brain with the assistance of an electric gadget that he is making, influenced quite a bit by. After this Colin AKAs arrives at John's party with Ava, where she has enough appeared to be frightened, so Ava requests that he have a beverage. Get her then, at that point, advises manager to battle with John among everyone individuals. This made individuals imagine that Colin killed him due to the battle after John's demise. That is the reason Colin manager acts as though he is smashed in excess of. Then she goes to John and talks discourteously to him. This makes Ava attempt to stop her, yet he talks discourteously to her too. This powers him out of the house. Then, after everybody has left, supervisor arrives at John despite the fact that John advises her to go there. Colin's body is where Vos begins going after him with an iron pole and afterward places it in John's mouth. Then Ava likewise comes there. Seeing this she gets exceptionally frightened and attempts to run off from that point, yet supervisor fired him with a firearm put on the table. After this she savagely takes out the street from Supervisor John's mouth. This breaks every one of his teeth. During this we see that he was having loads of good times doing a large number of this. Supervisor was drawing closer Ava, who was on the floor, so he shot her and killed her too. Then she attempts to shoot herself too, yet this time again she can't do as such, because of which Colin's control begins returning to her body and he gets a brief look at Supervisor past, yet Colin sees nothing. For what reason did she kill her life partner and John? And for what reason might she at any point see Manager's past? So he arrives at his companion Rita's home and attempts to persuade her that they went after me. Perhaps that is the reason I killed him, yet Rita sees nothing about him. That is the point at which she sees Colin's draining. That is the reason she marks him. After this Collins expresses that there is a battle among me and Ava, so could I at any point stay here? On this Rita kisses him and permits him to stop. Then when Colin is sitting in front of the television, that is the point at which he understands a weapon in his pocket. With this he arrives at the restroom where Rita is cleaning up, and before Rita could comprehend anything, Colin shot her and fiercely killed her. This recommends Colin is in that voice again. Then Vos is staring at the television. Then he understands that John has made do simultaneously. Eddie stays with him, who works with Colin in the workplace. Was during this he tells that Rita has called me here since some sort of mishap has occurred here. Eddie then, at that point, asks manager for water and makes the most of the open door to present itself, him oblivious with, and afterward when manager recaptures cognizance he focuses his weapon at Eddie and is going to shoot him, yet Eddie persuades him that I possibly work for Getter, so when I figured out that you are gradually failing to keep a grip on your host, I'm here to help you. Hearing this, manager requests that himself suit up. On hearing this, yet he will not do so and expresses, I'm here to give you your control back. So Vos is lying on the bed so Eddie can fix him and alter Eddie's perspective to give Supervisor his control. Yet during this time we see that Colin and manager begin battling with one another inside Colin's brain, where Colin wins and assume back command over your body. Takes Vos's facial covering is applied to himself as though Vos had utilized his own body. This uncovers everything about Colin's will. Then Colin oversees his body, so he sees that Eddie is dead, which makes him frenzy and race to the washroom. He discovers that Rita has additionally been killed, because of which he gets totally disappointed and attempts to commit suicide with the suit of weapon, yet he can't do so. He contacts her better half Michael's home and lets him know that I am manager companion and he has sent me here to let you know something, yet Michael comprehends he is lying, so he attempts to close the entryway. With this Cullen assaults him and compromises him with a firearm, asks where is Vos, which panics Michael so much and lets him know that he isn't here, rather she has left her work. Colin blows up at this and asks how he has treated me, what is befalling me, yet Colin finds no solution, so he puts firearm on Michael's head and starts yelling and says, you are watching, in the event that you don't come out then I will kill Michael. Then she sees Supervisor to her and lets him know that you ought not be here, I need to converse with you about this now. Colin expresses out loud, whatever did you do to me? On this she says that you were influenced quite a bit by which you killed Ava alongside John. Anyway, he completely denies this. Now Vos asks her, do you even recall what happened to Ava? Collins says on this that I didn't kill him, I can't do that, you have proactively fixed everything, so presently I will kill your better half Michael too. To this transport lets him know that on the off chance that this is what you need, then it doesn't make any difference, then you kill him simultaneously. Michael assaults Colin and drops his weapon and afterward attempts to go after Colin with a similar firearm, yet Colin gets a butcher's blade in his grasp, going after him and removing Michael's hand. During this he begins going after her with a butcher's blade out of resentment. It kills Michael not too far off. Colin then attempts to end it all once more, yet he can't do so. Then Michael's child mistake arrives at there. Colin strikes her throat. As of now Colin likewise suits and kills him. Then Colin additionally kicks the bucket because of draining it, likewise frees the vase, yet during this prior to passing on she sees that the Middle Easterner was additionally influenced quite a bit by when he recovers cognizance he sees that the support is likewise with somebody. It affirms that that period was not with any other person but rather with them. Then the brace finds out if you really want a break on this. She denies this, that Vos do routine exams and shows the general things of her past and get some information about them, yet during this time when manager tells about the dead butterfly, so we see that now there is no culpability and the brace appears to be content with it in light of the fact that Vos can accomplish this work with no trepidation and faltering and will convey forward his heritage. And with this the film closes here. Companions, assuming you liked the movie,